Merry Christmas! What's going on, man? What's going on in your world? I mean, holiday season, here we are. We're right smack dead in the middle of it all. People are watching our show on December 25th.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh
Oh my God, it doesn't feel so merry. I am so happy. By the time you're watching this, I am on a beach, bro. I am on a beach in a nice, safe place out of this crazy war zone Toronto.
What's wrong with Toronto? What's going on out there?
What are you so busy running people to open houses that you don't know what's going on around you right now?
Life is good right now. Things are going well. I mean, people are maybe sick a little bit. Kids are still, going to school. They don't have to wear masks.
It's getting nutty out there. It's getting nutty out.
I think we live in two different worlds.
Well, of course we do. I live in the real world and you live in like
Fantasy Island.
Realtor fairy tale land.
Fantasy Island over here, eh?
Like with Peter Pan or something. Or it's cool to wear a hat like that.
Yeah.
There's only a few places where that's the case. But you seem to be there. TK.
I'm here.
You're always so positive. Listen, before we get into all the craziness, TK, we have nobody booked for next year on purpose because we want to know. We want to hear from the people. We want to know, who do you want to hear from next year? Who do you want us to have on the show? So put it in the comments below. Who do you want to see? What do you want us to talk about? Who do you want us to speak to?
Do you like the regular YouTubers? Do you like an investor who's working on a strategy, industry experts, past guests? You want a new guest each time? Whatever. Just shoot. We can't promise we're going to, look at all these comments and take them all seriously. But I know that at the end of the day, we will, try to listen to what the listeners are saying and try to find guests that they're going to enjoy hearing from.
Yeah, right? Agree. So having said that, do us a favor, put that in the comments below, like, subscribe, hit the bell. We also, you really, TK, if there was ever a time to hit that subscribe button because you wanted to be notified about a show that we're about to have.
Oh my gosh.
This is the one. This is going to be crazy.
We have a show that is way over our head coming up.
Way over our head.
On New Year's Eve for you guys to tune into. It is
like everybody. We literally have.
We bit off more than we can chew.
We bit off way more.
We bit off more than we can chew.
Which is really the theme here. Yeah, exactly. So like we have people like Tom Story and we have people like Steve Karish and we have Santa.
Let's not ruin it. Let's not ruin it. We got the whole
Daniel
all-star crew coming out
Justice
for New Year's
Queen.
Eve.
Like there's so many more. It's like I didn't even name half of the people that are going to be on this show.
We got a show for you guys.
It's going to be a New Year's Eve party.
Year in review.
Recorded. Yeah.
Is it a year
pre-recorded?
Or are we doing a year in review right now?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that I would like to talk about that's pretty relevant right now. I imagine it's still going to be relevant on Christmas Day, but
well, we're gonna talk about the things that need to be talked about, but also a little year in review with Darryl and TK from the Canadian Real Estate Show.
Yeah. Where did we get it wrong? Where did we get it right? Were we even trying to get anything right?
You be the judge.
You be the judge. Who?
So, what's going on, Darryl?
Lots and lots of stuff going on.
I'm in Fantasy Island.
You're in
I realize this. I only deal with the rich and elite who have no problems and everything's going fine. And I'm not exposed to anybody who's ever got any issues at all. That's just, that's the image, I guess, that I have, even though I've had like 3 or 4 power sale, properties in the last like month and a half where they had power sale proceedings in motion. We'll see if any of those close. I've had, people coming to me who are like just like absolutely put themselves in positions where, you know, they need to sell, where there is no options. I got, you know, people who are full of fear about, you know, how to make the move, and I'm just navigating the waters. I mean, I'm doing what I do best, you know, what I've been put on this planet to do, you know,
Well, there you go.
bring
I mean, listen,
positivity and light to dark situations, Darryl. That's what I'm here for.
That's good. That's great. But the reality is there's some crazy fucking shit going on right now in the GTA and surrounding areas, and it's getting nuttier. And you know, we talked about last week, we talked about what's going on with Paradise Developments and people picketing outside. And so that's one thing. And that, you know,
We want our money back. We want our money back.
We made a
you
mistake.
Want your money back, or you just want a discount on the property?
Yeah,
we'll take either.
3 of them apparently are realtors, like that were in this picture of 6 guys or 5 guys. You know, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. You got like out in BC, you got realtors that are picketing. You got realtors that are picketing because they bought houses like at the peak of the market and they want to try and get out of the deal. Yeah. Which, if you didn't see it, for some reason, the Toronto Sun interviewed this guy right here.
I saw that. This was the proudest moment the Canadian real estate show has ever had.
TK?
Mainstream media, the Toronto Sun, switched over to the alternative media sources of Twitter and YouTube, and they interviewed our very own Darryl Frankfort.
I didn't see it like in print. Was I beside the? Do they still do the half naked girl at the back of the?
I just saw the link that you sent me, but it was definitely your name, and it was your comment, and it even sounded like you. Like I could just tell, like that was word for word what you actually said to them.
I think there was one word
check
it out.
Wrong. It's on the Toronto Sun newspaper, and it's there.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But we were talking about that. Description. So that was one thing. Okay, so like you were talking about. Okay, so we have. You were talking about you had a client, or you had clients that were, you know, in over their heads. They got into something they shouldn't have been into. Now they got to get out. Like we have people out there in Brampton who apparently bought $1.959 million homes, added like $100,000 worth of upgrades, and did all of this on an Uber driver salary. What do you think about that, TK? Like, does that make any sense to you?
I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions here.
No, don't make any more assumptions.
Okay. But I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here, right? That, you know, whoever was advising them that this was a great idea didn't have their best interest at heart.
Maybe one of those realtors in the picture.
I don't know who it was.
I'm in. You should be in. We're all going in.
Their spiritual advisor, or their parents, or it could have been the realtor. I don't know. But
so you got that kind of a scenario. You got agents listing their Mercedes 550 class for $2,800 a month lease takeovers. Like
$2,800.
Who the
that guy didn't
fuck
get
is
that
paying?
guy didn't talk to anybody before he signed that lease.
Yeah, he talked to the guy at the leasing company. Yeah,
he wasn't thinking about anything. He was just like, yeah, I get to drive away with that car. $2,800 a month lease.
That guy just got a big wire transfer.
$800. What are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
Listen,
like
that's
it's crazy.
The max budget as a realtor. You got $800 to spend on a lease. Pick whatever car you can find for that price. If you have anything more than that, I don't know what to tell you.
You shouldn't be able to.
It will not make you any more money on those sales appointments.
You shouldn't be able to lease a car that's so much money per month. Like that's
you should not be able to lease a car.
How much is a Lamborghini? Can you lease a Lamborghini? Will they let you
anything? Yeah, leasing companies will lease you anything. They'll lease you the shirt off their back, probably.
All crazy. So okay, so now I mean the real big story, TK. I mean, since you've been hiding under a rock somewhere.
Yeah, TK. Making sales.
Did you not hear about the mass shootings up in Vaughan?
Oh, that was a big one.
That's a
big one. That's a sad story of
a very crazy.
Not just like a the condo management side is, you know, I don't think the main story there. I don't know all the details. You know, I imagine that there's lots of people who have had issues before, and there's some condos that have more issues than others, and different things, right? but it's more of a mental health issue, right? Where, you know, that individual may have been in another situation at a workplace or something else, and the same thing might have happened. But condolences to those people's families, man. That's a tragic story.
It is a crazy story. And you know what? Like, I have, I think, a little bit of a different take on it than most people might, I'm sure. But I mean, listen, obviously murdering 5 people over this is absolute insanity. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But this is I'm sure there's mental illness as part of the story as well. But like, this is a long, long battle, right? And I think between, you know, real estate greed, money, and the horrible, horrible legal system that we have here in this country, something happened that just didn't need to happen, right? If you actually dig into the story and you listen to what the guys
tell the story
say,
for the people who haven't heard about it. Just give a brief synopsis.
Well, brief synopsis is a guy who was in a legal battle with his condo board and with the developer that built his condo. It was 7-year legal battle. Probably a lot of crazy stuff happened between point A and point Z, but it ended with this guy shooting up the condo board members in the building a couple of days ago or a couple of nights ago, right? And I mean, people have posted the guy's videos and people have posted his Facebook posts. And, you know, a lot of people want to say that the guy's just crazy and chalk it up to that. But if you actually listen to what he's saying, the guy bought a condo to live in, okay? And he probably spent a lot of money for him when he did it. I don't know how much money this guy has. And there's reports from inspectors that corroborate his story that he lived above the mechanical room and he could feel like a vibration and a hum all the time, right? And it was making him freaking crazy. It was making him shake, right? And then he said there was some kind of like exhaust coming into his room, making the quality of the air like not very breathable and making him have some symptoms, right? And so I think, you know, he tried to get it fixed because, you know, you point out to the developer, hey, my floor shakes, and you get an inspection and they go, yeah, the floor shakes. And so what happens after that, right? Like what happens between, hey, my floor shakes and bam, 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 right? And this guy apparently like multiple floors, multiple units, like he went out and he was just boom, fed up. He went and killed a whole bunch of people, which is crazy that he got to that point, right? But what's really crazy is that somebody could be forced to live in a place for 7 years that they paid for that has evidence of shaking, right? Like who could live in that for 7 years and, you know, not go crazy? But he starts talking about, and they say it's conspiracy theories, but he's like, these developers, they're corrupt and they're paying off the lawyers and they're paying off the judges and they're paying off everybody and it's everybody against me. And who knows what's going on. But I've been in the legal system. I mean, you can really get the ring around for like a long, long time, right? And you can really get screwed around in this thing. So I can only imagine what actually happened. I mean, we'll never find out what actually happened, but it's like, this is easily avoidable, I think.
I've sold people's houses with these same type of issues. Okay.
Not that I'm condoning it. Like, please,
no,
nobody
I'm
takes
just
this
saying,
out of context.
maybe not at this
here.
level, but what I'm trying to say is, and because your perspective is what it was, and just kind of want to reinforce what I was saying before is, you know, there's plenty of people who have issues with their neighbors, with their place and all that kind of stuff. And when they come to me because, you know, eventually you have to sell, like eventually you have to do things. And I've heard like crazy horror stories, police involved and violence and all sorts of stuff between neighbors and different altercations. Sure. And, you know, even the ones who are the ones who are the most stable, you know, get out and they take their losses and they move on. The ones who are the least stable, yeah, they come up with a whole bunch of stories and they tell me about the police are involved and all these sort of really, really far-fetched type of ideas that they've come up with. And again, you know, my solution is, you know, we get it sold, we get it moved and move on. Never have I met anybody who is going to escalate it to that level. So
No,
that's
but
why
he
I say,
tried to sell it. If you look at the history, he tried to sell it multiple times. He couldn't sell it. The floor shook.
okay,
Right?
but eventually, you know, I sold one of these guys was like May 2020, something like that. It was like the whole world was ending
Yeah.
and there were so many problems. And we listed it, I think at 700 and we got feedback. So I dropped the price to 650 and I sold it for 650. There's always a way to get it sold. Right. So
yeah, but you can't drop the price enough to fucking pay to redo the mechanical room so
I
the
disagree.
unit doesn't
I
shake.
disagree that there's a price for everything.
But don't
Right.
you think if it was like so quick and easy, the developer would have just done it, fixed it? Like,
Quick and
wouldn't,
easy to
why
fix
didn't,
the issues or to
yeah,
sell.
like, yeah, and like, why
I
didn't
don't think you can
Terry
fix
on
the
make him
issues.
fix the issues?
Yeah, I don't think you can fix the issues. What I'm saying is selling it. I think there's a
But why
there's a
wasn't the
way for
guy
him to sell.
protected from this situation over the last 7 years? Like, why didn't anybody step in and say, "Hey, like floor shakes, we should get
Because
this guy
the
in
legal
a..."
system's broken, and you know, I'm sure part of his personality and some of the things that he had said or done
Sure.
discredited him, and
There
that
was a
was an
neighbor
issue.
that said that he had mentioned to his wife on numerous occasions that like this is not going to end well. Like this was
Yeah,
like a known thing in the building, right?
yeah.
Like this building apparently has had some issues with their condo board. But anyways,
Mhm.
I think the point is that these are things that happen in like really crazy real estate markets, right? Like we have another example of something that happened yesterday where we have like young teenage girls, what are they calling it? Hoarding? No, not hoarding, but they all like come up on a homeless guy and
Yeah,
stab him and kill
stab
him.
him.
Forget
Yeah.
the name they use for it. It'll probably come to me as I'm talking about something else, but like there's a
Does
word
that
for it.
so does are you saying because he's homeless that the real estate industry is related to this?
Well, it's related to it. Sure. I mean, everything.
Because we
Like at
have a
the
lot
end of
of
the day,
well, let's relate it to something because it's a Canadian real estate show. We have
sure.
a
It's all real estate
incredibly
related.
high
That's the point.
we have an incredibly high amount of homeless in Toronto and Vancouver,
Mhm.
right? Like it's a pretty significant issue that we've got, right? Like homelessness is something that if not addressed, like if you hear about LA, I haven't been to LA, you know, for a long time, so I don't know what it's like personally, but I've seen the photos and I've watched Skid Row videos and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and it is bad. Like downtown LA is like it is not a place to go when you visit. And I believe that Toronto and Vancouver will end up like that if we don't do something about it. Right? There's just too many mental health issues. There's too many social issues that we have to resolve, and the homeless situation is only getting worse. I mean, every year it seems to get worse, right? So what does that say about the stability of our society, right? Like if people don't have a place to live, we need to have at least options for people to go to, even though we all want like, oh, you know, let's fix everybody, mental health. Yeah, of course. Grassroots, let's get it done. Let's help people with, you know, family issues and childhood support. All those things will lead to better outcomes for the individuals. But at the end of the day, you can't just say, well, you know, we're going to fix this and in 20 years the problem's going to go away. No, you got to address something today. Like the government's got to step in and do some like serious, you know, like they have these hotels. I notice like the old hotels are shelters, like the Nova Hotel down on um, Esplanade. There's another one at Markham in Progress on Estate Drive. You know, you can just see the type of people that are living there and stuff like that. Like these are the solutions that they need to come up with, right? Is to create these mass shelters that are able to house people who do need the help today, you know, and figure out, you know, in 20 years, you know, hopefully the other social programs will help people improve, but you know, how can we give people housing today? And it's not by building new. There is no solution building new. It's about converting what already exists into more shelters, right?
So I think they just released something about rooming houses now being legal. Did you see that?
No, that's great news.
Well, I suppose it could help with some of the people that are on the street that had, you know, a few $100 that they could pay a
So,
month.
so rooming houses, right? So there's, I don't know all the technical terms. I've only dealt with it a couple of times, but there's support from different institutions and charities and the government, right, to be able to help pay for these beds. And the issue, I mean, one of the biggest issues is getting people to run them. But the second biggest issue is the zoning, trying to get them to be permitted.
Yeah, they weren't permitted. Right? And now apparently they are, or they're going to be very soon.
Yeah. So you, as an individual, you want to get into the housing market, you can buy a rooming house. And there's people out there. There's people who run rooming houses, like they're second generation rooming houses. That's their sort of like call to life. This is what makes them tick every single day, is helping people. And you could go and, you know, hopefully if this is true what you're saying, everything works out, you could go and buy a larger home, and then you could rent out the rooms, and you could stick a couple guys in the room, and, you know, you're getting money that's government supported, whether it be through Ontario Works, like or ODSP or a private charity, whatever it is. There's a lot of different options, and then you can run your own little rooming house and have your own little business, right? That you're happy to have. I think it's a necessary part of any society, right?
For sure. It's just it's amalgamating it with the neighbors that
Who cares
don't.
about the neighbors?
Well, this is the thing.
We don't want dead homeless people on the street because a bunch
cycle.
of teenagers stabbed them to death.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying
we're
what
not
we
disagreeing.
get is these fucking neighbors that say, like, I don't think so. I don't want to live beside a rooming house.
No say. You get no say.
You should. Well, that apparently
guess what you get to
happening.
do? You get the same options that the guy on Jane Street had, which was put your house up for sale, sell it, and move it, and take whatever price that you can get. It's an open market. Those are the options you have. You don't like your neighbors, you move. This is everybody's option. Everyone always say, "Well, I had no choice." No, you have a choice.
Where are you going to
move
move
like
to?
What the options are.
Anywhere you could move. You could move beside a potential.
You can rent. You can sell. You can rent out your house.
I guess you just gotta get over the idea.
Suck it up.
Hey, how about you start pretending now that next door it's a rooming house already? Anyways, TK, let's move back a layer, okay? Let's move back a layer.
Merry Christmas.
Serious topics, especially for Christmas. But hold on a sec. What the fuck motivates 13-year-old girls to like swarm a guy and kill him?
Social media.
Is it just social media?
It's the only thing that possibly could make sense.
But my kids aren't doing that. My kids have a fairly
they're not following the right people.
Well, but maybe it's a stable house plus TikTok, or like living in a shelter and watching TikTok, or like there's got to be
a leader. There's a leader involved.
I don't know. There's got
a leader.
But this is not like happy kids, you know, doing our arts and crafts project. This is like this is crazy. I
remember when I was 12 years old, right? And I'd never stolen, you know,
and they're girls,
did anything. And there was a guy who was like, we're going to shoplift. And
sure.
Like, we're going to shoplift. Right. And because I had, you know, gotten into that school, I didn't know as many people, I'm making friends and all that kind of stuff. And I remember that it was like, okay, there was a can of pop out of this store called Tugsies. It was like a little diner type of thing. Right.
Tugsies? Are you sure it was a diner?
It was called Tugsies. A picture of a boat. It was a tugboat. It was called Tugsies. And they served great chicken teriyaki. That's what I used to get.
Yeah, okay.
And so like we like went in there, and it was like the most nerve-wracking thing ever. And then I'm opening up the door and I'm taking a can of pop. And I don't really think I ever shoplift again, to be honest with you. It's not my thing. You know, I was fortunate enough to be able to afford a can of pop. And I never really needed anything. I don't really have expensive taste. So that was my experience though. And that was because of the peer pressure. You know, the peer pressure for me to steal that can of pop existed with those girls to do
but hold on a sec,
doing.
Bro. Let's not compare stealing a
can
of pop from Tugsies, okay?
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
It's not the same, TK. They killed the guy.
Okay, but I'm just saying that the girls obviously would regret it. I don't think that they were all villainous murderers looking like it was just like, oh, this is going to be cool. And it's just a homeless guy. No one's whatever was going on through their head.
Well,
yeah. I'm just saying that peer pressure is very powerful, especially at that age. 13-year-old girls. Have you seen how girls
and they're girls?
Can
I
be
think
with
that's
each other.
important.
Girls are nasty sometimes. Yeah,
I guess, but
they're
like
nasty.
I know it's all about equal rights and
girls.
everybody's equal and everything, boys and girls, everybody's the same right now. But like, I'm sorry, this is a stupid boy idea. This is not a girl idea. It's
a boy idea.
This is mind-bending, crazy, stupid stuff. So, but like, look at the escalation and look at what's going on. I mean, it's not every, I mean, it's pretty much every day now we're hearing about a shooting or a stabbing downtown, or we're seeing some footage of people dodging bullets in restaurants and Queen Street. And like, so is this, what is this? Is this because we're just this big melting pot of immigration and different ways of doing things and handling things, and not necessarily like, is this the way we do stuff here? It just feels like such a different Canada to me. Like when I grew up, like we had one murder a year, and it was probably by accident, you know, like that was Toronto. You could go anywhere. You could run into people's houses. You could, you know, you went out, you know, you went out and it was like almost dark when you came back, and your parents had no idea where you were. You didn't even know where the fuck you were, right? And now, like, man,
I think
Apple
what
GPS
happens,
tracker on everyone.
What happens is something that one, like overall the world is becoming a little bit more bipolar as far as like socioeconomic classes. So the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. So there's a bigger gap, right? We're eliminating the middle class. That's something that's happening for sure. But in a big metropolitan city like Toronto or any other big city in the world, that's compounded, right? There's just way more separation. I was at a family function on the weekend, you know, and they're talking about some of the private school kids and some of the lifestyles that these kids live, and it's like night and day compared to anything I've ever grown up with or that I'm familiar with. And I can only imagine what the you know, the people who are growing up in the struggling families, you know, whose mom's got, you know, a couple job, and you know, their fathers aren't in the picture, and you know, they're living, you know, in social housing and stuff like that too. Like imagine just what that would look like. I wouldn't even begin to understand that type of life.
And
right?
add
So, yeah,
TikTok into it and all this other
and then in a city
shit.
like this, it just means we have more and more and more of that, you know, and that becomes, it weighs on your mental health, right? Because you don't feel like you have hope, and you feel like there's really nowhere that you're going in life, and that you don't have any examples in front of you. Like, think about how beneficial it is just growing up, having successful people around you, having people doing good things, people who are going to school, people who are like eating healthy, whatever, just all those things that influence you as a kid impact your life like in the future, right? And if I took away all these great people I had in my life, I would have never turned out the way that I did, you know. And if I had added in a bunch of like uber successful and motivated people, I would have been projected even further, right? Because of that. So imagine growing up and literally having, you know, an uncle in jail, you know, you don't even know your dad. Your mom is not around because she's working all the time. Your brother's in a gang, and you know, you're just there on your own. What do? You stab homeless people, right? Like, it's fucked up.
Who draws that line though? I mean,
but that's what it is.
But this is where things are leading. Okay, so now, like, what's next? Right? Like, what's next? Things are going to get nuttier. I mean, things are going to get worse in the economy. People are going to lose jobs. People are going to lose their houses. People are going to lose their businesses. Things are going to go upside down, right? People are going to stretch themselves this Christmas thinking next year's going to be my year, baby. I'm going to make it. And their stocks are going to turn to fucking mush, right? But this is what we're coming up onto. I'm pretty goddamn sure. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty goddamn sure. Like, I don't see, okay, what, like, is there a good sign? I saw one good sign, actually. You want to talk about some positivity from this guy?
Yeah.
I saw that 5-year fixed mortgage rates started coming down.
Ooh. Watch out. Watch out.
Like lower than October levels. But down. That is a positive sign for now. For now, right? Bond market thinks things are going to be okay in 5 years.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fuck. If they're not okay in 5 years, TK. Holy cow.
Oh my God. 5 years. That's so long.
Cow. But like, what is in 5 years? I mean, listen, once it bottoms, you can start making money in real estate again. Can't you?
Yeah.
But are you sure it's the bottom? Like, how long do you wait till you know that?
I'm pretty sure we're not at the bottom yet.
This is not even close to the bottom.
That's the one thing that I'm very like, you know, like the writing's on the wall that we have not seen the full impact of the rate hikes. both on the buyer's capabilities and on the current homeowner's ability to service that debt.
I feel like
and the
thing,
economic fallout from that, which would include job losses and all that stuff. Nothing is going to start getting better. Everything is going to get a little bit worse. And then we'll figure out where the bottom is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supply chains, worse. Retail numbers, worse. Unemployment numbers, worse.
Gas prices, better. Hey, what's going on?
What
with
happens
that?
with gas prices? See, this is crazy. I was looking yesterday and I was saying to people, we bought, I think it was in 2000 and no, maybe 2000 and was it before I lost all my money? Yeah, that would make sense. Probably like 2006 I got this thing. It's beautiful Mercedes. It was a diesel, okay? And diesel was like cheaper than regular gas, okay? And that diesel, that car, that thing went so far on a tank of diesel, man. Yep. That was so great. But now, like gas is $1.30 something and diesel's like $2.30 something.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? There's a gas
put that in your pipe and
trucking shortage.
Diesel drivers. Maybe
but there's like a truck. Yeah, in the States, there's like a shipping shortage for diesel or some kind of crap like that.
Yeah.
Like some diesel shortage now. So
there's always something.
There's like, how can a trucking company make money when diesel's so expensive, right? This is just not good at all. And like, I don't think this war is ending anytime soon. So having said all this, TK.
Yeah.
Is there a chance? I mean, it seems like inflation seems to be coming down month after month. Like it's not going up. It's not getting worse. We haven't
seen a little stagnant, but
well, maybe a little stagnant, but it's not getting worse, right?
Yeah.
We
I think
all
we've peaked. I think we've peaked in inflation. The year over year
peak inflation called by TK Butler on the Canadian Real Estate Show.
I think that is the way it is, because even the biggest bears, they're all calling for like these deflationary pressures and everything else like that. So I think that even we can agree, like, you know, Trent and everybody else,
deflationary spiral from hell is coming, Luke, is what he's saying.
Right. Yeah. So Luke. I think that would be something that we could all agree on, is that, yeah, we had this high period of inflation and now it's time to start heading back down. And that's why, you know, everything's happening the way it is. And so it would make sense that the inflation numbers would be not getting worse. I'm not going to say that they're going to get better faster. I think it's going to take a long time before inflation at the current rate of improvement. You're talking years before we get back down to the Bank of Canada's target. Years.
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they raised the rates pretty fast and then they dropped them really fast. We don't know what's going to happen.
It was like 0.1% improvement month over month. Right. So to do 1 point, that would be like 10 months. We got like 4 points to go, like, or more.
But we have a lot of rate hikes that like we haven't noticed yet. Haven't we?
Okay. So you think that rate of deceleration will increase?
I have no clue. Nothing I say means anything because it's generally wrong. But what I do see is, and I can't imagine how, like, if retail sales are strong this holiday season, I'll be shocked. But that just means we're totally fucked. Like if retail
people
sales
go out and spend way too much money this Christmas.
No, but if numbers are good for Christmas, we're in trouble because we're getting hiked at the end of January, like zero doubt.
They need to destroy the retailers this Christmas. Like no one needs to buy. It's Christmas Day right now when you're listening to this.
Yeah,
and if you bought too many presents for your kids,
yeah,
you caused us all a lot of pain.
Fucking assholes! Stop buying stuff. You're ruining everything, right?
Trying to get rates back down. I got to renew my mortgage in a few years. Okay.
But we're gonna see. Hopefully, we just see like dead sales. We just see dead sales because what I think is gonna happen. Okay, we saw knock rate sales on the last release. Okay, it was not up to expectations. All these tech stocks, all these retailers, everybody's stocks are going down. And I think people are waiting to fire people because they think it's going to be busy at Christmas time. So they're just hanging on to people that they would have fired already. But it's like, what am I going to fire all these people and then hire more people for Christmas? Like, we'll just wait another month.
I'll be honest though. I'm not hearing that. Okay. So I'm hearing that
People
I know
are
you've got some
hiring.
anecdotal stories. I'm hearing that it's very hard to retain people. I think that there's still, like, I know we know that the vacancy rates for jobs is,
Yeah, I think people are just
decreasing. So there's obviously the jobs are getting filled, but it's still very difficult to find people to work.
It's super hard. Well, look,
Yeah.
the unemployment is super low.
Go when it's super hard to find people, I just don't see that happening on a wide scale today.
Right, today. But
yeah,
after Boxing Week or month, whatever we do nowadays, it used to be Boxing Day, by the way.
Yes.
And we didn't have Cyber Monday and whatever the fuck Friday was before that. Okay, but anyway, so after Boxing Month, so let's say after January when they release like retail numbers and they dove off of a cliff, there's going to be mass layoffs all over the place.
Mass layoffs though, Daryl?
Mass layoffs,
seasonal
man.
Stuff, the retail, the jobs that are normally.
I think it's seasonal
layoffs.
Plus the stuff to actually maybe start turning a profit for next year, because who do you know that doesn't think 2023 is going to be tight as fuck?
I agree. I'm not saying that that's the case, but what I'm saying is talking to people who actually own some of the businesses, there's a lot of people looking for employees.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a bunch of people. This is true. They fill out. So one guy told me they filled out the application. My friend calls them right away. Hey, I just got your application. You want to come in for an interview?
Yeah, I told you. Bailey got the job right away.
No, I'm okay.
What kind of work though? Are these good jobs?
Restaurant, right?
This is the thing. It's restaurant.
Whatever. I'm just giving you an example.
Fucking retail.
And the guy's like, no, I'm good. But you just sent me in the resume like 2 minutes ago. Like,
yeah,
what do you mean?
7 other people called me before you. You're too slow.
You know what? I was just sending in the resume. He's like, what are you talking about?
Fuck,
so my gym, a friend owns a gym. Okay. So a guy owns a gym.
So dumb.
Same thing. Booked 5 people in for an interview. One shows up.
Right.
One shows up to have an interview to work at the gym.
Yeah, but that's going to dry up like in an instant.
Why?
It's just going to stop.
The gym business is flourishing.
The gym business might be fine,
I suppose. The restaurants are doing well. Right. Yeah, they are. And this problem, restaurant wise, I talked to somebody who's a executive with a big restaurant chain owner, and the same issues are faced all over.
So, but what do you think's going to happen? They're just going to rates are going to be here, and everything's just going to keep going like normal.
I think that the job loss market,
they're trying to kill the jobs.
They're trying to kill the jobs, but the data
don't think they'll be successful.
The data shows right now, and it's a lagging indicator. I know, and I'm just being positive that there's gonna be less layoffs than everybody thinks. There's a lot
in the comments below. Did you spend as much as you normally spend this year on Christmas presents for people, or did you spend more or less? I would love to know if
more.
You spent more? Yeah, but TK, you're a fucking superstar.
I'm just
you're the host of the Canadian Real Estate Show. Everybody uses you. You're on the
reason I said Canada. More is because everything costs more money this year. Inflation.
But okay, fine. But that's a really good
you know what? Some
point.
of the things I'm ordering things on Amazon.
Did you try and spend less?
I'm going like this. I'm just going like, no. And I'm like, $50. I'm like, what the hell is going on, Daryl?
Money is
it was way more money to buy stuff for my kids this year. Way more money to get little trinkets.
To spend less, or were you
use twice and throw out?
Daddy had some good times. I don't know when the good times are going to roll again. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's go.
I filled the stockings. I just filled the stockings. Nothing crazy.
But
it was more money.
Did you put fillers? Some dollar store filler?
Is there anything I went to
dollar store that's a dollar?
I went to Dollarama and I spent $100 there on little fillers too. Absolutely.
Lots of
Normally I'd go to Walmart or Canadian Tire, something like that. But this year I said, you know what? Dollarama stock is up. They're doing well. I know someone who works there. I thought, hey, let's go support. So I dropped $100. I even got my wife a couple things for her stocking stuffer there.
Oh, even? Why? Is that not normal?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to pay more money than I have to. So I, paid $3.25 for something that maybe I would have had to spend $6 on.
Right. So I wonder.
I'm going to do another channel on how to save money with TK Butler.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're able.
It's not going to be a great channel.
It's not going to last too long.
Yeah.
But this is actually another good point. You're just bringing up all these good points by accident. Like, listen, you're not stupid either. I mean, everybody that has half a brain is like scaling back wherever they can, if they can, right? So, like, many a time in my lifetime, I've been like, I got nothing left. Like, there's nothing to scale back. There's nothing else I'm willing to give up right now. Right.
Good. I'm glad
nothing
you said
left.
That. There's always something to scale back.
Yeah. Listen, you can always scale back, but
craft
are you
dinner,
willing?
3 times a day. Okay.
That becomes another problem.
Taking the bus.
Will
bunk
that burn
beds,
off?
Bunk beds.
Bunk beds.
Right. 1-bedroom apartment.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's got the ability to scale back. It's whether or not you are choosing to do so or not.
Yeah, I'm choosing not to right now, for sure. But
at the worst positions, you know, in their life because of debt that they've taken on.
But
every time it's always been revolving around this exuberant lifestyle that they're living. Sometimes it seems simple on the outside, but you know,
TK,
the cuts were not made at the right time, Darryl.
Whether they're made at the right or the wrong time, like, let's just take a normal person, okay, who has normal everyday expenses going into the last few years. Okay.
How much money does a normal person make?
I don't fucking know anymore. Like, if you don't make 6 figures, I don't know how you can survive right now. How much money does a normal person
make? A normal
make?
person probably makes $60,000 to $80,000.
60 to 80 before tax, right? Is that before tax? Oh my God. So. Okay. So let's say, so 60 might turn into what? Like 40? 45?
Yeah, about 20, 25% tax.
I don't fucking know. Okay, what about 80? Same thing. Like, let's say 65.
I think 60 to 80, you're paying about the same tax. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you got every month? 5 grand? 6 grand?
40 to 60, so you got 4 to 5 grand.
Holy. Okay, so now you're paying to live. Okay, so you're already fucking tight as hell, right? Going into all this nuttiness, right? And what do we? Let's say we're just a renter, even like renter, owner, whatever.
Okay. How much should you be paying for rent right now if you're making that much money and you're single income? How much money should you be spending on rent?
Or how much will you be?
Let's call it $4,000 a month rent. What should be your rent?
$4,000 a month rent? No, income. Well, they say
$4,000 a month
30%,
net
right?
income.
They say 30%, but the truth is you need much more than that. But what's 30% of 4 grand? That's like, okay, is it? It's like 1,500, 1,300,
1,333, right?
All right, somewhere in there. Okay, so I mean, you could probably find a place for that, so that's okay. So there you go, $1,300. Let's say 1,200. You're a savvy motherfucker, and you found a great place for $1,200, right? There's not much left. What's left? $2,800. $2,800, food. Maybe you got a car, gas.
How much you spend on food a month?
Insurance. Not much. You're eating craft dinner right now.
Because your food budget's crazy.
My food budget is absolutely so crazy. How much money you spend ridiculous. Like, it's not me. Although I have been eating a lot of it. So crazy. Lately. Yeah. I don't know. What's a normal budget? $100 a week? $150 a week?
Right? $500-$600 a month if you do it right.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
but you need your internet and all that kind of
car
stuff.
Or transportation, you're easy $300, $400, $500 a month, easy, like on the cheap side, right? That's probably like Ubers and transit is what, $300 a month.
You got insurance, you need gas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, $500-$600
$1,000 a month for your expenses.
And let's remember, this is before things went up. Okay, this is like normal times now. Could you get stuff all in that range again? Yeah, but you got to unravel what you already might have. Or like, what happens when things change? Like they're changing now. When everything gets more expensive, TK.
What's going to change? Your rent stays the same, all that stuff.
You got an extra gas goes up. You got an extra $1,000 goes up. Your internet
to save
goes
and
up.
invest and maybe do a little fun things, buy some presents and all that kind of stuff. After all those numbers that we gave on a average person's budget. But how many people do that? That's the point of my question.
How much is left? People do that? Did we have any money left?
$1,000. So it was about $2,000 for after your food and your housing, internet, all that stuff. $1,000 for your transportation. That's $3,000. You got $1,000 left to live off of and do all the fun things that you want.
How much?
$1,000 left.
$1,000 a month? People can live off of $3,000 a month?
Yeah. You should be. I'm not saying people are doing it very well. I'm saying like that would be what a responsible budget would be. Now, how many people are?
What about a phone and internet and stuff? You got that stuff in there?
I put that all in there.
Food, car, internet, insurance, like things you need,
$1,000
like
for car, Darryl. Why are we going over this again?
Like clothes, and like maybe actually seeing a human or something, like a fridge magnet that you like anything, or no?
Like I said, this is a responsible budget for somebody who wants
$1,000
to
left over,
live on, what they're able to make at this time. So what do people do? They get married. Double the budget.
Double the budget.
Double the budget.
So
now my expenses go from
now we're really living
$2,000 a month to $4,000 a month. I get a nicer place.
So what do we do? Do we save the difference?
Maybe I only need $1,000 a car.
No.
Now I have more money. So this is
why we got a C550, bro. We step it up on the rent. We get a jacuzzi.
These are the problems. Right? These are the problems right now. All of a sudden, everyone goes, man, I need to get this. I need to have, kids. I need
bottle service, bro. Oh my God. So I went to a club for the first time and I don't even know how long. And they got like a couple days ago. What day is it? It was crazy. It was crazy. Okay.
You went to a club?
We went to a club for somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
Bottle service. Okay. $1,500. You get 100 square feet with a sofa in it and 2 bottles of like whatever alcohol you want.
Yeah.
And you serve yourself all night. Like that. Who can do this kind of thing? I'm looking at these people like, you guys are idiots. This is just so stupid.
Right? Idiots.
And people are walking around like, I was never a big fan of the whole club scene, but like it is a wacky place, man. But it was slamming and people are waiting in the freezing cold, half naked, 1 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, but like, where's the money all coming from for everybody? I mean, where do 20-year-olds get money? OSAP. Oh no. Oh,
yes. Student debt. And they're spending that money at the club.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just a
tough life,
TK.
It's a tough life. Now, when I was in my 20s, young 20s, would that have been a good Saturday night for me? Yes.
Sure.
So, live it up. Enjoy your life. Do what you got to do.
Enjoy your life. Do what you got to do. Flaunt that stuff you got there.
But when you get older and you have a fixed budget, it's your responsibility to live within your means. And that I'm hoping that we do have a major economic disaster that's going to be strong enough, not to hurt people in the way that, that can happen, but strong enough to change the mindset of people who are 20 years old today. So that when they get to 30, when they get to 40, when they get to 50, they're going to have better saving habits, less debt. They're going to be afraid of debt. They're going to be scared of it. They're going to say, oh my gosh, if I take on that debt, what if rates go back up like they did before? I remember all those people that it happened to. Because my generation, that never happened to. We've been
but the boomers, you think they all are safe right now? They're all in the fucking stock market. They're all their savings just disintegrated.
Daryl.
Boomers are fine. What about a boomer that had $1 million in the stock market going into the pandemic, and now it's like just decimated?
They don't need the money.
Don't need the money. Why the hell not?
Because
their houses.
They're going to hold. They're going to just hold. They don't need to access the money. The biggest thing in any investment is when do you need that cash back?
Are these overvalued bubble stocks coming back though?
I'm just saying, when do you need to access that money? Because if you only need to draw so much from it, it's not going to impact you. They're not going to just cash out all of a sudden, and if they're 65 right now and they plan on using that money over the next 20 years, I wouldn't be cashing out right now. Would you? I would be holding on to it.
No, you can't cash out right now.
Wait till this turns around, which most likely it will after 20 years.
20 years. If you got 20 years left, yeah. Some boomers are in their late 70s.
Okay, well then your kids will use the money when you go, right? I mean, that's part of life.
You are just so positive, TK.
I'm just saying.
And then the hat. I should put a halo over your head for the entire episode.
The people all say like, "Oh, you're losing all this equity," but it's only if you need the money. People's house prices going down. It's only affecting the people who need to sell.
Right.
So I agree the market's going down. I agree if you need to sell in the next 12 months, you're going to get killed and you're going to be competing against people who need to sell. And that's not a place that you want to be in. If you want to sell and you're competing against people who need to sell, good luck.
Well, hopefully
that's not where you want to be.
Hopefully the bond market continues to force the fixed rate down. and we avoid this renewal disaster that I see coming down the pipe. And by the way, TK, I know I say it first all the time on this channel regularly, but everybody else is talking about this now. It's everywhere. Everybody's worried about the renewal thing now. They all watch the show, obviously.
Talking about it for a long time.
Yeah. But now it's becoming a thing. So I don't think there was no way in my model.
This is another trigger rate crisis. It's
well,
another,
maybe because
what was the other one again? What was the other one?
Something cliff.
Deferral cliff.
Deferral cliff.
The deferral cliff. It's now the renewal crisis. The renewal crisis of 2023.
I see it coming. But I mean, I didn't see fixeds getting lower than variables. It's an issue. Renewal and heading down.
The other thing too that people don't talk a lot about is these amortization periods that I'm hearing are way higher than what I thought they were allowed to do. I don't understand everything about the banking system, but I'm hearing things like 35, 36, 37 year amortization rates.
Yeah, now wait for 6 months.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that does help people with their payments. So there may not be as many issues in that regard, but there will be people who have to renew, who have to get a higher rate, who won't be able to afford the new cost, and they'll have to sell and will have no choice, and they'll be there on the market competing against you.
Maybe.
That was good, right?
That was good.
Let's do our end of the year review, Darryl, before we wrap it up here.
Okay. I'm up for that. I am not prepared for it, but I am up for it.
Well,
End of year review.
We had some amazing guests this year.
Holy.
We had every side of the aisle, you know. We had people just talking about this, talking about
everybody
that.
Except for Condo Wong from my original list has been on the show, TK.
Yeah.
Condo Wong is the only one who has eluded us.
Yeah.
So
Condo Wong is, you know, he's in control of his own destiny. You know, if he wants to make it to the big times, you know, it's up to him. But we had some other great people.
We had some
YouTubers.
Great people.
We brought on a lot of YouTubers this year.
Great insights.
On a lot of people. We made a lot of friends. Yeah. I feel like we've made so many new friends.
So many new friends.
This channel, right?
And
even commenters who we don't even know like what their faces are.
I know. I feel like I know some of them. It's pretty crazy.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, it's been a nice ride, but this year's been very this year's been very interesting and been very fruitful from a content creation standpoint. I mean, it hasn't been hard to come up with things to talk about. Not that either of us has a problem coming up with things to talk about. Yeah. Right? Nonsense. But like, it's been a pretty nutty year. I mean, we've seen an entire generation go through the fastest, craziest, steepest rate height cycle of all time.
Yep. Fastest and largest price deceleration that we've seen, and
a whole bunch of loudmouths
over 30 years.
Us saying what we thought would happen were so fucking wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like so wrong. It's crazy. And like even the people that are kind of right were like pretty wrong too. So like,
if you want to know what's going to happen next year, then you know, watch everybody on YouTube, and then just think the opposite.
It's a safe bet. Especially if it's Tiff McCallum. I mean, fuck, definitely there needs to be a special filter on YouTube where you can like press opposite.
Yeah, just exactly.
Just for the Bank of Canada speeches,
out,
right?
The opposite part comes out instead, right? But
we're gonna ruin everything. We're gonna destroy the economy, and we don't really care. Thank you.
We've had some great people that you know, shared about, you know, the facts. We had people come on who had their own businesses where they were trying to promote them, and we wouldn't let them. You know, we made sure that we controlled the narrative, you know, and we gave the viewers and the listeners what they wanted to hear. You know, we had some repeat guests, people who had been on the show, some people that not everybody liked. There's some people that are controversial. They're classified as controversial.
We were guests on another person's show.
We were guests on another show. 2 shows.
Well, but one of them hasn't come out yet. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come out by the time this is out.
Yeah. And we've got invitations.
Find out about that. Maybe it got scrapped.
Most of them we don't accept. Most of the invitations. Most people who are inviting us, there's a reason that they have the time to invite us. And that's why we've rejected them. But there are some guests who's invited us. And there's other people who have talked to us more recently. And those were definitely invitations we will accept.
We
But,
are we're out there, baby. We're out there. People
We're
are
providing
listening
value
for whatever reason.
And
They're listening.
I want to say
And
thank
we
you,
love it.
Darryl.
Thank you.
Thank you on behalf of myself and the Canadian Real Estate Show and all
Look
the
at you.
listeners, because your hard work and effort is the only reason the show exists. And that if anyone enjoys watching and hearing us and doing all the things that we do, thank Darryl. Don't thank me. I just show up and talk for an hour every week. Darryl is the man behind the scenes.
It's all true.
Making it happen.
It's all true. But
100%.
that role is extraordinarily crucial, right? It's like making the talking hat to the other side of me is the other ingredient, right? That makes this what it is. So all the stuff I do is replaceable. It's the fact that I'm a control freak that I still do it, right? But what's really irreplaceable is the dynamic here and the way it's a discussion, man. We're not teaching anybody. We're not trying to we're just talking about real estate. It's like real. It's a real discussion. It's different. So hopefully we can stay true to our roots for another year. Hopefully the market gives us some good stuff to talk about, because in case you can't tell, I don't feel very comfortable with how the market's looking going into the near and medium term for sure.
It's the end of our third year, actually, just doing that, right? 2020 was our half a year, and then 2021. So this is the second full year, but third year.
It's a lot. Every single Sunday, baby. Every single Sunday.
You cannot stop us, no matter how many comments or dislike buttons you press.
That's right. You can't stop this train.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be here next Sunday. Christmas Day. You're listening to us.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. No, is it New Year's gonna be? No, New Year's Day.
It'll be New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Big blast.
We're gonna have an episode. Check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our sponsors. Check out our guests. Links are in the description.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, we appreciate you. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.
Boom.